I have a question for all of you. Would you play a game if you knew that you couldn't lose? So your first thought might be, of course, everyone hates losing. Why would I want to lose?
Is losing fun? No.
But my hope is that after watching this video, you're going to reconsider that thought and you're going to have a totally new answer. Let's get to it now. Welcome back to the Jared and James channel. I'm Jared Weiss, and if you guys didn't know, that must mean that you're not subscribed to the channel, so you know what to do. Smash that subscribe button, be sure to leave a like, drop a comment, let me know what you guys think of this video, let me know if you guys learned something, let me know if you guys are inspired by it. So, today's topic I'm going to be talking about is, would you play a game if you knew that you couldn't lose? So, I'm going to first start with a little anecdote. Back when I was little, and I used to love playing all these video games, which I still enjoy every once in a while, but whenever I played all these video games, I used to get so frustrated whenever I would lose. I'm just like that type of person who's like super competitive, and I'm one of those people who honestly hates losing more than they even like winning sometimes. Anyways, whenever I play all these games, sometimes I would get so frustrated if I started losing, so then I would actually start playing on an easier skill level, or sometimes turning the sliders down for the computer.
Alright, give me the ball, I'm gonna pass it back to the keeper, let's take a shot.
But what I realized was that this actually wasn't satisfying to me.
Well, this sucks.
After a while, you actually start to get bored. When losing isn't an option, you almost start to get bored of it, and that's the reason why having challenges there is actually super important. One of my favorite quotes has always been, I either win or I learn. So in every loss, there's always something to be learned. It's not always about oh, if I lose, I'm a failure, so therefore I should never even try something that's too hard for me because there's always a chance that I might lose. And this same concept could be applied to so many other things in life. For instance, so many people out there are always asking me things such as what if you don't make it doing what you love? What if you don't make it following your passions? What's your backup plan? What's your plan B?
That's a clown question, bro.
But what I tell these people is that if you're already planning for plan B, you've essentially already lost, and you've already defeated the chance of your dreams happening. That plan B should not even enter your head most of the time, but unfortunately, this is the reason why so many people out there are always trying to play it safe. So many people won't even take a chance on themselves. So many people won't even bet on themselves because they're so afraid of losing. But what they don't realize is that losing builds character. Losing builds calluses. You have to know the agony of defeat in order to fully understand the thrill of victory and the thrill of success. It's as the law of duality goes, everyone has good and bad in them, everyone has good and evil in them, and taking that a step further, there's always this possibility of win or lose. Of course, within that, even losses aren't necessarily always bad.
Sometimes when you win, you really lose. And sometimes when you lose, you really win. And sometimes when you win or lose, you actually tie. And sometimes when you tie, you actually win or lose. And
sometimes it's just about playing the game and enjoying it. And so not everything is always about win or lose, but going along this concept of duality, there's win-lose, good, bad, weak, strong, powerful, not powerful. You get what I'm saying?
If you get what I'm saying.
I feel you.
So in order to know one, you have to know what the other feels like, because otherwise, what do you have to compare it to? You wouldn't know what good is if you also didn't know what bad felt like. You wouldn't know how great winning feels if you don't know how bad losing does. There's no positive without negative out there. This law of duality shows us that in order to know one, you also have to know the other, which is also why it's so important to be able to fully feel our emotions and to not be constantly pushing them away or seeing some emotions as good and others as bad. That's why, though, as I've spoken about in the past, the people in power want us over-medicated, overfed, undernourished, full of antidepressants, full of distractions, because when we're full of all these things, you don't feel you're much more obedient, and you can never become your best self, you can never reach your full potential and understand how powerful you truly are. They don't want us to feel, because if you feel pain, then on the opposite side of that pain is strength and power, and they don't want you to know how powerful you truly are. And that's also the same reason why they're always preaching about equity, equitable outcomes, which means that everyone has the same outcome. Not equality of opportunity, which is what I believe should happen, but like everyone should have the same outcome.
What?
Which, what many people out there don't realize is that means equally poor, equally sick, and equally weak. That's why this whole culture that's about participation trophies and that doesn't highlight winning and actually highlights victimhood is actually so dangerous, because it's essentially teaching people that like there's more power in being a victim than there is in being a victor over your circumstances. As I was saying earlier, there's something to be gained in every loss. So like whether it be learning something new, whether it be working on something that like you didn't realize was actually one of your weaknesses, and now you're able to turn that weakness into a strength. It builds up calluses, it builds up grit. As much as we all hate to lose, there's something about it that like we also need within those losses. As I said before, we can't know how amazing victory is unless we know how down we get after a loss. And many losses or difficulties out there are actually just blessings in disguise. So like for instance, every team that like I ever played for that didn't give me the opportunity that like I ultimately know I deserved, one might see that as a loss. Or on the other hand, for anyone who's being cut from a team out there but like still wants to follow that passion in whatever sport or whatever thing it might be, that can actually serve as a blessing in disguise, because even though you know that you deserve to make that team, that you deserve that job, etc., that loss could actually push you to become so undeniably good.
Becoming undeniable in your work ethic, undeniable in your skill set, and undeniable in the results you produce.
It could push you to refine all your skills, to become better than you ever thought possible, because that loss could serve as this driving force that gets you to make a change, that gets you to improve more. Losses could either serve as reasons to quit, or they could be the springboards for our major victories that we ultimately achieve. A very interesting example that like I was actually thinking of while I was preparing this video is actually when it comes to my whole Instagram shadow ban. How did I take that loss and turn it into something that's actually a really good thing? Getting shadow banned on Instagram actually pushed me to get these incredible new microphones. It pushed me to start adding captions to my clips. It pushed me to level up my content so much because I wanted to become so undeniably good. Like, even if the algorithm only showed my stuff to 5 non-followers, I want those 5 non-followers to be so impacted greatly. Or I also want my own followers to see how good my content is and say to themselves, I have to tell someone else about this because this obviously deserves tons more views. So like, if the algorithm isn't going to reward me, I'm going to do it at the in-person level, at the grassroots level, by inspiring people, by showing them how good I could possibly be. And interestingly enough, had I not been shadow banned on Instagram, I probably wouldn't have started getting into these more podcast type formats where I could openly and freely speak about all these topics that really interest me. And truthfully, where does playing it safe ever get you? I mean, if you go through your whole life never having to lose, always playing it safe, and you get to the end of life in this realm, or in this current body, and what did you actually achieve? I mean, without knowing the possibility of losing, chances are you're not going to be doing anything worthwhile, and you're never going to do anything that actually matters. Yes, I could play it safe. I could take a safe job. I could never go after any of my athletic goals. But like, where would that leave me? That would leave me feeling empty, and that would be denying my whole purpose. So I'm going to show you guys some of my workout clips from this past week, showing you some of my massive PRs now, because I went for them. And going along the topic of this video, yes, there was a possibility that, like, I wouldn't have achieved them and like I would have failed, but like I went for it because I know that with every failure comes a lesson, and with every loss comes possibilities for new opportunities. So to the clips now. 220-pound power clean PR. It wasn't the prettiest, but I got it up there, and we're gonna keep going up there. So it's been a long time coming, and we're not stopping here. And we also hit 16.7 on the sprint treadmill, tying our PR. So we are making gains on the daily, and this is during a bad week of sleep. So like my sleep has been awful this past week. As my healing process continues, it's not always easy. You're gonna be getting better and better, even though it's sometimes uncomfortable. But like, it's not your body's job to make healing comfortable. Like, these gains are paying off. So let's keep it going. 220-pound power clean PR. That's light work, killed it. And there you have it, guys. There's today's reminder from the gym that you don't need circumstances to be perfect in order to make progress. You just need to find wherever that last gear in you is and milk every ounce of energy out of that, because if you could do that, if you could make progress when things aren't going great, when you're not feeling your best, when you're not sleeping your best, just imagine how great you're gonna do once everything does fall into place. In my case, once I am feeling all better, I'm going to be absolutely crushing it. But like, the thing is, I'm already crushing it as is. So like, I'm just going to be making even more progress when that happens. All I can say is, as I've said numerous times in the past, just imagine how sick my progress is going to be once everything is in place, and once I am feeling great, it's going to be scary. So, back to the studio, Jared.
I really hope that this message resonates with you out there. I really hope that maybe this message gives you a changed perspective on the topic of losing, and reminds you that you have to feel everything to the fullest. You have to know the lowest of lows in order to know the highest of highs. You have to know what it feels like to lose in order to know how great it feels to win. Don't fall into this trap of trying to play it safe in order not to lose. Don't try to avoid the calluses. Don't try to avoid the tough things, because the only way that you actually lose in life is if you quit. So anyways, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Be sure to drop a like, leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think of this video. Let me know if you guys have anything to add to it. I love you guys. I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.